These scientists on a space station freak out as they lose sight of the Earth and think they're stranded in space. However, when they find the blue planet again, they quickly realize it's not the Earth they know. In 2028, the world's energy resources are rapidly running out, and experts have theorized that within the next 5 years, all energy resources will be completely spent. Oil is being rationed strictly, and power outages are a common occurrence all over the world. In this time of crisis, the space agencies of the world have come up with a potential solution called the Shepard Particle Accelerator, which in theory can provide the Earth with infinite energy. The machine is on the Cloverfield space station orbiting Earth, and a team of experts has been called upon to activate it and achieve a stable beam. Among them is Ava Hamilton, a British engineer, who hesitates to sign up because she doesn't want to leave her husband, Michael, behind since this mission could take years. Additionally, Ava and Michael have recently lost their 2 children in a house fire, and she doesn't want to strain their relationship at such a time. Michael tells her that the fate of the entire world rests on her signing up for this mission. Hence, she should go. Ava arrives at the space station, where she is joined by American Commander Keel, German physicist Ernst Schmidt, Brazilian doctor Monk Acosta, Irish engineer Mundy, Russian engineer Volkov, and Chinese engineer Tam. The first attempt at activating the Shepard Particle Accelerator fails, as they are unable to achieve a stable beam. This tough luck continues for roughly 2 years, as all attempts to activate the Shepard end in failure. Frustrations start to rise in the team, as the future of all of humanity rests on their shoulders. One day, Ava wakes up, calls Michael, and tells him that she is scared because they only have enough resources left for 3 more attempts on the Shepard. Michael reassures her and says that he still has hope. He is about to ask her if she is willing to try having kids again when the power goes out and their call is cut short. Ava resorts to watching old videos of her children in silence. Next, Ava comes out and has breakfast with the entire team. As they discuss work, Volkov expresses his distrust toward Schmidt, who is directly working with the Shepard, because he believes that Schmidt is the reason that they have not been able to achieve a stable beam for so long. Since Germany is preparing to wage war for the remaining energy resources on Earth, he believes that Schmidt, being a German, is deliberately sabotaging this mission to allow his country to take over the world first. This comment enrages Schmidt, and he physically assaults Volkov, leading to Keel having to break up the fight. Next, the team gets ready for another attempt at activating the Shepard, and as they do, Monk watches an interview on a news channel in which a conspiracy theorist warns everyone that the Shepard Particle Accelerator is 1,000 times more powerful than any particle accelerator ever built. And every time they turn it on, they can possibly rip open the fabric of space-time, smashing together multiple dimensions and parallel universes, unleashing monsters and beasts the likes of which humans can't even think of. He terms this the Cloverfield Paradox. Keel tells Monk to stop watching that. The team activates the Shepard, and to their great delight, they finally manage to achieve a stable beam. However, before they get any time to revel in their joy, suddenly, an explosion of some kind occurs, shattering most of the equipment on board. The crew is thrown on the ground and then up against the roof, and while they are caught in the chaos, unbeknownst to them, the Earth disappears. The Shepard chamber catches fire, and Schmidt and Tam rush to put it out. Next, the entire team gathers, and Keel asks for a damage report. As they are discussing the extent of the damage, Ava tries to contact Mission Control on Earth. And then, she learns the horrible truth. The planet she is trying to contact is simply not there. She informs Keel and the rest of the team, and they assume she's making some kind of mistake. However, Keel checks every external camera of the station, and the Earth is not visible from any of them. They all start panicking and rush to check every window, but all they see is empty space. Ava is horrified to see that she can't contact Michael, and Keel has a complete breakdown in his room so that the team does not see him in this state. Next, they all gather and debate whether the activation of the Shepard somehow destroyed the Earth. Schmidt points out that if the Earth was destroyed, there would be debris, which means they haven't destroyed the planet. They've just lost it. Keel says that finding the planet is not their priority. Their most pressing concern is getting all the systems back online, so that they can survive. They're running on backup power, and the temperature stabilizer is offline, making the station incredibly cold. Volkov says that the gyroscope, which helps orient the space station, basically a very fancy compass, is malfunctioning as well, and he needs to fix it. However, when he and Ava arrive to make the repairs, they notice that the gyroscope is missing. Volkov complains of a strange sensation in his eye, and then the two hear a loud shrieking noise in the distance. Ava and Volkov, just like the rest of the crew, follow the noise and arrive at the source of the shrieking. Tam is standing there, and she informs them that the scream is coming from behind the wall. They open the wall up and find a woman in severe agony because all the wires and poles appear to be passing right through her body. There is some conflict about whether they should cut the wires to rescue the mystery woman, and eventually they decide that they can't just stand there and watch her die. As they are working to get her out, the mystery woman refers to Ava by name, which shocks everyone. They bring her to the operating table, give her a sedative, and begin operating to get the wires out of her body. Back on Earth, Michael wakes up to the sound of an explosion, and he sees it through his window. Authorities confirm that the explosion is not the result of a bombing nor an act of war, which confuses Michael. On the space station, the team is bewildered by the appearance of the mystery woman and worried about how they will find the Earth again without the gyroscope. Schmidt says that he doesn't know what is happening here, but he knows that the Shepherd has caused it. Hence, if they run it again, they can undo all of this. Keel says that their first priority is stabilizing the station, but Schmidt decides to disobey him and asks Tam to join him in working on the Shepherd. Meanwhile, Mundy notices that the worm colony that was present on the station is missing, and the eye Volkov was complaining about earlier starts moving on its own, freaking him out. Suddenly, he starts talking to his own reflection in the mirror, and immediately after, he uses a 3D printer to print a gun. Next, Volkov arrives where Tam and Schmidt are working and threatens to shoot Schmidt, but before he can do this, he collapses and dies, apparently of some kind of poisoning. As he is brought to the medbay, the worms from the colony spew out of his mouth. The team is disgusted and shocked. Following this, Ava arrives in her room, and she is incredibly confused as she sees that the mystery woman they found in the wall is somehow standing in their team picture. Next, the mystery woman wakes up, and Ava arrives to meet her. The woman reveals that her name is Mina Jensen. She already knows everyone on the team except for Tam, but she is confused when neither Ava nor anyone else recognizes her. She says that she's been working on this station, on the Shepherd, for 2 years, so how can they just suddenly say they don't know her? She also asks Ava what she is doing on the station, since she's supposed to be on Earth as their civilian coordinator. When it becomes evident to Jensen that no one here knows her, she starts having a breakdown. Ava comforts her, and as she does, Jensen warns her in a hushed voice not to trust Schmidt, as he is the one who sabotaged this mission. Keel checks Schmidt's communication logs, and it reveals that he has, in fact, been communicating with the German intelligence agency on Earth. Enraged, he beats Schmidt up and imprisons him, but Schmidt appears genuinely confused as to why he's being treated this way. Meanwhile, on Earth, Michael arrives at the site of the explosion and sees something enormous moving in the shadows. He finds a child screaming for help, whom he rescues. On the station, Mundy is working to close up the wall they found Jensen in, and suddenly, his arm gets sucked into the wall. Ava and Keel arrive to help him, but as they get him free, his arm is cut clean off, without any blood or pain. The confusion in the crew keeps getting worse. Next, something or someone frees Schmidt from his prison, and he finds Mundy's arm moving around on its own. He calls the entire crew to witness this spectacle and tells them that this is the result of activating the Shepherd. It's the Cloverfield Paradox. Different realities from different multiverses are trying to occupy the same space, causing all this chaos. This is why Jensen believes she is a part of the crew, because in her universe, she is. Schmidt's communication logs, which he has never seen before, are also the result of some other universe, where Schmidt actually is a German spy. They notice that Mundy's severed arm is trying to write something, and they give it a pen. The arm tells them to cut Volkov open. The team follows the arm's instructions because at this point, why wouldn't you? They discover that the gyroscope is inside his body. Using the gyroscope, they discover that they are just on the other side of the sun and locate the Earth.
Oh, my arm helped us find the Earth!
The team celebrates joyfully, however, as Ava points the radio transmitters toward the Earth. They learn through a news channel that the entire world is at war. Curiously, the news reports that the space station failed and fell to the Earth 2 years ago, which makes no sense. Schmidt figures out the truth and explains that that is not their Earth. It is the Earth from another universe in the multiverse. He says that the only way they can get to their actual home is by firing the shepherd again. Meanwhile, Michael brings the child he rescued to a safe shelter. Monk arrives to give Jensen some food, and she reveals that she's figured out that they fired the shepherd and created the Cloverfield Paradox. She tells him that if they fire the shepherd again and return to their universe, she'll get trapped there with them. Tam figures out that condensation caused the shepherd to overload, which led to all this, and hence, if they can prevent that, they can have a stable and controlled firing of the beam. She goes to fix the issue, when suddenly, she gets trapped in a chamber that starts filling up with water. The others arrive to help her, but are unable to get the door open. Suddenly, the airlock from the other end bursts open, and the incredibly low temperatures of space freeze Tam in a giant block of ice. The crew is devastated, because without Tam they cannot get the shepherd to work, but Ava realizes that in this universe Jensen is the shepherd engineer, which is why she couldn't recognize Tam. She takes Tam's place in the team in this universe. Jensen agrees to help them on the condition that they give her the data on how to create a stabilized beam and allow her to leave the station before they fire. Ava and Jensen converse, and Ava learns that in this universe, her children are alive. She asks Keel's permission to stay in this universe and go down to Earth to see her kids grown up, and he thinks it's a terrible idea, but she argues until he allows her to do it. Mundy works on getting the station enough power to fire the shepherd again, but as he is doing this, a strange magnetic interference occurs in the chamber, causing the metallic paste he uses to seal pipes to come alive and kill him. A carbon dioxide canister explodes, causing a massive explosion that destroys half the station. Jensen points out that unless they detach the destroyed half of the station from their half, it will tear the station apart. Ava, Keel, and Monk undertake this mission, as Schmidt and Jensen are the only ones who can fire the shepherd. However, Keel ends up sacrificing himself to complete the mission and allow his crew to survive. Next, Ava says that she and Jensen will take a pod down to Earth and instructs Schmidt to fire the shepherd. However, Jensen sabotages this plan, as she needs the shepherd in this universe to save her Earth from war. She finds the gun Volkov printed and uses it to kill Monk. She is about to kill Schmidt when Ava arrives. Jensen points the gun at her, but Schmidt distracts Jensen to allow Ava to run away, and gets shot. Jensen hunts Ava down, and during their fight, Ava cleverly disarms Jensen and uses her gun to break a window and depressurize the room. She escapes out of the airlock while Jensen is sent flying into space. Ava stitches up Schmidt's wound, and they prepare to fire the shepherd to go home. Before doing this, Ava sends out a message to the Ava of this universe in which she gives her the instructions to build a stable shepherd to solve the energy crisis of her Earth. Additionally, she tells her multiversal counterpart to cherish her children and husband. Next, Schmidt and Ava fire the shepherd and overload it on purpose, and it works. They return to their own universe. Then they factor in Tam's condensation idea and manage to run the shepherd with a completely stable beam. They celebrate joyfully and enter the return capsule to come back to Earth. When Michael learns that Ava is coming back to Earth, he is enraged because she doesn't know what she is coming back to. As the escape capsule enters the atmosphere, a gargantuan monster comes out of the cloud, roaring loudly, and proving that the conspiracy theorists' warnings about monsters were actually correct. The end. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like our channel and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. Also, let us know what movie you would love us to recap for you.